Jane Fonda is an American actress and activist, recognized as a film icon. Fonda's work spans several genres and over 6 decades of film and television. Born December 21, 1937, age 87 years, Manhattan, New York, United States. Spouse, Ted Turner, M. 1991 to 2001, Tom Hayden, M. 1973 to 1990, Roger Vadim, M. 1965 to 1973. Children, Vanessa Vadim, Troy Garrity, Mary Luana Williams. Height, 1.73 meters. Parents, Henry Fonda, Francis Ford Seymour. Siblings, Peter Fonda, Amy Fishman, Francis de Villers Brokaw. Jane Fonda net worth $200. Personal life, marriages and relationships. Fonda writes in her autobiography that she lost her virginity at age 18 to actor James Franciscus. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, she dated automobile racing manager Giovanni Volpe, producers Jose Antonio Sainz de Vicuña and Sandy Whitelaw, as well as actors Warren Beatty, Peter Mann, Christian Marquand, and William Wellman Jr. During this time. She often bearded for closeted homosexuals, including dancer Timmy Everett, theater director Andreas Vicinas, and actor Earl Holliman. Fonda and her first husband, French film director Roger Vadim, became an item in December 1963 and married on August 14, 1965, at the Dunes Hotel in Las Vegas. The couple had a daughter, Vanessa Vadim, born on September 28, 1968, in Boulogne-Billancourt and named after actress and activist Vanessa Redgrave. Separation reports surfaced in March 1970, which Fonda's spokesman called totally untrue, though by mid-1972 she was conceding, "We're separated. Not legally, just separated. We're friends." In the early 1970s, Fonda had affairs with political organizer Fred Gardner and Clute co-star Donald Sutherland. On January 19, 1973, 3 days after obtaining a divorce from Vadim in Santo Domingo, Fonda married activist Tom Hayden in a free-form ceremony at her home in Laurel Canyon. She had become involved with Hayden the previous summer and was 3 months pregnant when they married. Their son, Troy O'Donovan Garrity, was born on July 7, 1973, in Los Angeles and was given his paternal grandmother's maiden name, as the names Fonda and Hayden carried too much baggage. Fonda and Hayden named their son for Nguyen Van Troy, the Viet Cong member who had attempted to assassinate U.S. Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara. Hayden chose O'Donovan as the middle name after Irish revolutionary Jeremiah O'Donovan Rosa. In 1982, Fonda and Hayden unofficially adopted an African-American teenager, Mary Luana Williams, known as Lulu, whose parents were Black Panthers. Fonda and Hayden separated over the Christmas holiday of 1988 and divorced on June 10, 1990, in Santa Monica. In 1989, while estranged from Hayden, Fonda had a 7-month relationship with soccer player Lorenzo Caxiolanza. She was linked with actor Rob Lowe that same year. Early life and education. Jane Seymour Fonda was born via cesarean section on December 21, 1937, at Doctors Hospital in Yorkville, Manhattan in New York City. Her parents were Canadian-born socialite Francis Ford Seymour and American actor Henry Fonda. According to her father, the surname Fonda came from an Italian ancestor who immigrated to the Netherlands in the 1500s. There, he intermarried. The resultant family began to use Dutch given names, with Jane's first Fonda ancestor reaching New York in 1650. Fonda also has English, French, and Scottish ancestry. She was named for the third wife of Henry VIII, Jane Seymour, to whom she is distantly related on her mother's side, and because of whom, until she was in 4th grade, Fonda said she was called Lady, as in Lady Jane. Her brother, Peter Fonda, was also an actor, and her maternal half-sister is Frances de Villers Brokaw, also known as Pan, whose daughter is Pilar Corias, the owner of the Pilar Corias Gallery in London. In 1950, when Fonda was 12, her mother died by suicide while undergoing treatment at Craig House Psychiatric Hospital in Beacon, New York. Later that year, Henry Fonda married socialite Susan Blanchard, 23 years his junior. This marriage ended in divorce. Aged 15, Jane taught dance at Fire Island Pines, New York. Fonda attended Greenwich Academy in Greenwich, Connecticut, the Emma Willard School in Troy, New York, and Vassar College in Poughkeepsie, New York. Before her acting career, she was a model and appeared twice on the cover of Vogue. Fonda became interested in the arts in 1954 while appearing with her father in a charity performance of The Country Girl at the Omaha Community Playhouse. After dropping out of Vassar, she went to Paris for 6 months to study art. Upon returning to the U.S. in 1958, she met Lee Strasberg. The meeting changed the course of her life. Fonda said, "I went to the actor's studio and Lee Strasberg told me I had talent. Real talent. It was the first time that anyone, except my father, who had to say so, told me I was good at anything. It was a turning point in my life. I went to bed thinking about acting. I woke up thinking about acting. It was like the roof had come off my life." Career. 1959 to 1969. Early roles and breakthrough. Fonda's stage work in the late 1950s laid the foundation for her film career in the 1960s. She averaged almost 2 movies a year throughout the decade, starting in 1960 with Tall Story, in which she recreated one of her Broadway roles as a college cheerleader pursuing a basketball star, played by Anthony Perkins. Period of Adjustment and Walk on the Wild Side followed in 1962. In Walk on the Wild Side, Fonda played a prostitute and earned a Golden Globe for Most Promising Newcomer. In 1963, she starred in Sunday in New York. Newsday called her the loveliest and most gifted of all our new young actresses. However, she also had detractors. In the same year, the Harvard Lampoon named her the year's worst actress for the Chapman Report. Her next 2 pictures, Joy House and Circle of Love, both 1964, were made in France. With the latter, Fonda became one of the first American film stars to appear nude in a foreign movie. She was offered the coveted role of Lara in Dr. Zhivago, but turned it down because she didn't want to go on location for 9 months. Fonda's career breakthrough came with Cat Ballou, 1965, in which she played a schoolmarm-turned-outlaw. This comedy western received 5 Oscar nominations, with Lee Marvin winning Best Actor, and was one of the year's top 10 films at the box office. It was considered by many to have been the film that brought Fonda to bankable stardom. The following year, she had a starring role in The Chase opposite Robert Redford, in their first film together with 2-time Oscar winner Marlon Brando. The film received some positive reviews, but Fonda's performance was noticed by Variety magazine. Jane Fonda, as Redford's wife and the mistress of wealthy oilman James Fox, makes the most of the biggest female role. She returned to France to make The Game Is Over, 1966, often described as her sexiest film, and appeared in the August 1966 issue of Playboy, in paparazzi shots taken on the set. Fonda immediately sued the magazine for publishing them without her consent. After this came the comedies Any Wednesday, 1966, opposite Jason Robards and Dean Jones, and Barefoot in the Park, 1967, again co-starring Redford.